And a jolly good morning to you from a rather chilly Sunday morning here in autumn in the northern German city of Bremen. And it's definitely the morning after the night before here. Although first impressions of the street here, Vor dem Steintor. Hang on, let me just check the sign. Vor dem Steintor, which is a kind of a multicultural, busy main thoroughfare in the south of the city, or leading away south from the centre of the city. It's very close to the Werder Bremen football stadium, which is just down in that direction a little way. And they had a game there last night. They won, and this place was absolutely buzzing at about 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock last night. Absolute mess everywhere, and it looks like the street cleaners have been out and done a pretty good job actually, because it really was overflowing bins and takeaway wrappers and you name it all around the street. So well done to them. I was expecting it to look like carnage this morning. But anyway, this is the start of a walk around the city of Bremen. I've never been here before, and I had a little look around. I went to see a band last night, fantastic, Centron, superb. If you know them, go and see them. Met all these very, very happy Werder Bremen fans on making their way home via the numerous kebab and burger bars and pubs and cafes and so on along this road last night. So it was quite interesting, and as I just said, I was expecting it to be somewhat chaotic still this morning, but no, I mean, other than the usual little bits of litter lying about that you always find anyway, it's pretty clean. It's quite incredible. So there must have been some operation going on last night once the crowds had died down. Right, so I'm going to just take it as I find it this morning. I've not really done much homework on the city. I know it's got a very famous and interesting and picturesque old town. It's got a waterfront next to the river, the Weser, and that's about all I know really. So I'm just going to set off. I'm heading back towards the city centre at the moment. I'm going to take a left turn in that general direction, just a little bit further along, and start the walk along the waterfront, as this road seems to go right the way into the city, and it's just much the same the whole way along really. Be certainly somewhere to come late at night if you want to get something to eat, that's for sure. I think it's probably fair to say this part of Bremen is a little bit on the sketchy side. There's what appeared to be the red light district just a little bit further back on a side street. I didn't venture down there, and I'm not too sure how much would be going on down there at this time on a Sunday morning, but you never know. It's clearly the part of town where you would come to get up to lots of mischief, and hey, if that's what you want to do, get down here. I'm sure you'll find it. Schnoorviertel is where I'm at now. The road that leads off from this main thoroughfare. I'm going to take a left and go down to the waterfront actually. It certainly doesn't take long just to venture off from the main thoroughfare and come some quite interesting little cobbled streets, which I gather will improve as I get towards the Altstadt. Right, so I've just taken a good wander down there from that busy main road through what's essentially residential area really, and this road here is Ostdeich. Presumably I'm murdering the German language as usual, but I've got down to the river, the Weser, and I'm going to take a stroll up in that direction towards the city centre and the Altstadt. And just to highlight the fact how close I was, I probably walked about a kilometre parallel to this road here, and there's the stadium, Werder Bremen Stadium, the Weser Stadion I think it's called, which is rather appropriate considering it's right next to the river there. 42,000 it holds, and I think all 42,000 were up there last night eating currywurst and hot dogs. And I have to say the retailers there did an absolutely fantastic job of keeping it all going. And there weren't long queues. You just turn up with your euros in hand, and there it was, pre-cooked burgers and currywurst ready to go. That's absolutely fine when you know you've got a lot of custom coming your way. You can get it ready, and it's still nice and fresh and good to eat. It's those ones where they're sat there for ages and no one's been along that worry me a little bit. But yeah, I have to say I partook in a little bit of currywurst myself last night. Oh, this is quite pleasant down here. Seems to be a place, a lot of bikes, as you'd expect. People going for a jog and walking their dogs. There's the actual beach area over there. Reminds me a little bit of Cologne actually, over on the other side of the River Rhine in Cologne. Not as built up over there. Brunnen, can't remember the name of the place now, but there's like a beach, artificial beach for summertime that people go and sit on. Can't remember Brunnen something now, can't remember the name of it. I'm getting old. Not sure how clean this river is. I certainly wouldn't want to be swimming in or paddling in the River Rhine. I wouldn't want to be paddling anywhere today actually, it's far too cold. I love the way someone's just gaffer taped an advert to the footpath, and it is for today. Wasserturm auf dem Werder, water tower. All those Portaloos. Had a terrible experience in one of those once. I shan't go into the gory details, but it was the worst one I've ever been in. And if you can think of the worst festival loo that you've ever been in, and then multiply it by 100, it was probably about that. It was absolutely ghastly, and it was in Spain. It was in Santiago de Compostela, randomly in some little park. As I've noticed, I know people walk about with football shirts on and so on, even when they're not going to football matches. But there's still quite a few wandering around here with their green and white Werder Bremen shirts on this morning, so I'm wondering if they've even been home yet, or they're on their way home still. The weather is improving wonderfully now. The sunshine's started to come out, it's warmed up. Some fishermen out there on the river. See a riverboat there just ahead as well, which is a Swiss one. I would have to I'd have to do a bit of googling to work out quite how that boat got here from Switzerland. Maybe there's a connection through to the River Rhine, something like that. It's one of those sort of medium-sized river cruise boats. Swiss Ruby, based in or registered in Basel, Switzerland, Basel, dependent on which language you're using. Interesting. I've noticed how high the like stanchions are, or mooring posts, whatever they are, the ones with the yellow paint on the top. Very high. So I can only presume that the river gets an awful lot higher than this. And the area that I'm walking on now is potentially, at least, an area that floods. You can see the road up there, and indeed on the other side. It's quite high up in relation to this area that's down here, the walking and cycle track area. Quite often you come across a little monument of when certain records were broken in terms of high tides or heights of rivers and things like that. I haven't actually seen one as yet, but if I do, I'll be interested to see quite how high it's got. Of course, we're not far from the sea here, so I suppose it would actually be tidal rather than the river itself getting high due to heavy rain. "88 passengers it holds." I thought it'd be more than that. It's certainly got cabins. Looks 88 doesn't seem enough, but there you go. Right, I'm going to carry on along the river. Now to my right is the beginnings of the Altstadt, an old town. Well, I'm going to walk past it for the moment and come in from the northwesterly top end of it and then make my way back through. It's really, as I've said on many occasions, so I'm going to say it yet again, cities with rivers and trams always get my vote. Certainly had an interesting vibe to a place, and here is just like that. Oh, this is one of the more impressive how far you are away from places signs. It's got the directions also north, south, east and west, and it's got a lot of places on here. Tananarivo, 8,814 kilometres. Is that Madagascar? We're 6,576 kilometres from Nairobi. Usually these are sort of ramshackled wooden signs with about 10 random places if you're lucky on them. This has got This has got a lot of places. In fact, 1, 2, 3, 4, 13, 26. 104 places, I think I'm counting. Does seem to be quite a few boat ride options up and down the river and up to the harbour. Fairly reasonable prices as well, looking on there. Always nice to get out on the boat, might consider that later. Appears to be a much more upmarket event going on. Everyone's bearing in mind it's not even lunchtime yet on a Sunday morning. Seems to be some glasses of champagne on the go there. Might be a private function actually. Oh, I like that boat over there. Yes, I appear to have photographically gate crashed someone's party. It is this boat over here is open. It's a restaurant, and presumably acting as such today for some event. I've just seen a few people turning up with presents in their hand, gifts. So yeah, it's early on a Sunday for that though. They're planning on a good day. As is very usual when you come to cities such as this, by a river. Some of the old industrial infrastructure is torn down, surplus to requirements. Boats can't get in as far as they used to do because the boats are so much bigger, and they turn them into high-end apartments that make a lot of money for developers. But having said that, they're usually very nice places to stay, and never an unpleasant thing overlooking the water, be it the sea or rivers. And here is no exception. Right, well, this deserves an advert. It's such a claim. The coolest ship in Bremen. Enjoy your pancakes aboard Admiral Nelson. Open, to be fair, maybe it is. Alexander von Humboldt, that boat's called. It's the Weser Museum, and I mean, what do these signs mean? I almost feel like I need to go to the museum now to try and find out. Having been built on sand with another base, in brackets, basis, in fact. And then the same, I guess, in German there. I don't know. Maybe the original museum or building that was there was built on sand and it got washed away one day. Who knows? Surely, I'm sure every one of you have heard of Beck's beer. Well, this is where it's brewed here in Bremen. I dare say it's brewed under licence in other places around the world. This is the home of Beck's beer. And that there in the middle is the Beck's conveyor and conveyor crane. Quite obviously for getting hops or whatever up to the factory when it was delivered by boat. I expect it's probably all delivered by lorries today. But yeah, I don't know if it's still in working order. It'd be nice to see it if it was. You can walk around and look at it. Whether you can actually, I don't suppose you can actually climb up it, but you can certainly walk along the gangplank there from the footpath on the other side of the river. yeah, I'm going to turn away from the river in a moment, maybe explore a bit further up later on or tomorrow. Seems to get quite industrial up there. I'm sure there's some very interesting things to see, but I'll keep it to the city centre on this particular video. And yeah, just take a right turn and then curl back down and finish up at the other end of the old town area, Schnoor, I believe it's called. And there's quite a few things in there to be having a look at. So right, let's head over that way. This part just to the northwest, I guess, of the Altstadt, the old town, is very much a residential area. I probably turned off the river slightly too late. Interesting view there, straight through to the Beck's factory, between these newer apartments and homes here. Yeah, if I was just doing the walk purely to get to the old town, I'd have turned off sooner than I did. Says 10 past 5. I can absolutely guarantee it is not 10 past 5, morning or evening. Very, very modern building here, Radio Bremen, with that interesting seat just on the outside of it with the dog statue. Very quirky. So what's going on in Radio Bremen this morning? I wonder if there's I presume it's transmitting. Just going on to Filterstrasse, which is just entering the main part of the city centre now, although this is the modern bit. We get into the old town area fairly shortly. There's just the usual array of shops. As you'll see, most are closed. It's Sunday here, not much opens on a Sunday in Germany, certainly the big shops don't. Only tends to be very small convenience stores, places at railway stations and cafes and bars and so on and so forth. Restaurants will be open, but certainly don't expect any department stores or anything like that. So if you get here on a Saturday, get what you need before you go to bed. Otherwise you might be waiting till Monday morning. Pedestrianised road, with the exception of the trams going up and down, which is nice. I won't film anyone doing it, but what you do see a lot of here in Germany, and it took me a while to work out precisely why, a lot of people rummaging about in dustbins, and basically what they're looking for is empty plastic bottles. There's deposits on them here and you can hand them in. There's quite often machines at supermarkets that process them and then give you a credit towards food, a bit like the coin machines that you sometimes get at supermarkets and various other places. So yeah, it's not an inherent problem of people on the streets rummaging for food in dustbins. It's not really that. It tends to be plastic and also glass bottles. Yeah, you can, when you buy a single-use plastic bottle, you can take them back to the shop where you purchased it from. It normally says on there how much that, how many cents have been put on the bottle, and you can take that back and get your money back. But I suspect most people just throw the bottle away, and others come along and collect them and make a little living out of it. And at the same time, I suppose it's done some good. Crypts, is that? I've not heard that term for a while. Just getting really into the old town area now, and suddenly quite busy. It's fairly quiet along the river, although an hour and a half to 2 hours has elapsed since I was down there. So things are starting to busy up here in the centre of Bremen, and not least the fact that the sun's come out and it's got a lot warmer now. Coffee shops and so on are all starting to do a really nice trade. To get your photographs taken on your wedding day, or get some wedding photos taken. I'm going to carry on in a circular walk around the old town area now towards Schnoor, which is the oldest part and supposedly the most picturesque. So we're going to have a look, see if that is the case. Not often you see someone walking down the road with a photocopier. I think it's a photocopier anyway, so it looks like one. Yeah, why not, eh? So that's just advertising you shouldn't go down here if you're more than 1.8 metres wide. It's certainly an attractive little street, that's for sure. Lots of shops. Quite sure what what's that? A birdhouse. Birdhouse with a Union flag on it is doing here, along amongst all the I Love Bremen stuff. But hey ho, I'd go for a Werder Bremen one myself personally. Nice green and white, look at that. Oh, fish brötchen. Oh, I'm not quite ready to eat yet, but fish brötchen, it's like a very posh fish finger sandwich. Yeah, and who doesn't like a fish finger sandwich? So I've a feeling I'm going to be back here very soon. Oh, I wish I was a bit more hungry. Interesting shop as well, with some various aviation things in the window. Usual array of just normal food places. I walked out the other end of it now. Just going to go back through again. Here to that. Fabulously quaint little part of Bremen that is, Schnoor, and the little surrounding streets, not even streets really, alleyways. I mean, obviously there's a bit of a tourist attack going on, but that's everywhere, and considering it's September, there we go, look, there he is already. He's presumably advertising the Christmas markets. There is one here as it happens. Of course that won't open until about the end of November. Oh, this is a nice little street. Well, you know, when something's telling you you've just got to do it, whether you're ready for it or not. I've just been ambling around in the Schnoor, and I finished back at the fish shop, so I'm going to have to go in, aren't I? I can't leave it any longer. I'm a bit concerned as it's Sunday, it might close down at some point. It's about 2 o'clock now, so I'm not sure how long they're open for, there's no sign, so I'm not taking the chance. Here we go. So there you go, backfish in a bread roll with mayo and a bit of salad. There were other options, quite a few other options as it happens, but let's go for the main dish, the main thing that they're known for, and let's give it a try. €6 for those of you that are interested in such things. But that's lunch sorted. Right, well, all I need now is an ice cream. That was absolutely delicious. So what was it? So, yep, fried fish in a bread roll. As I said before, a bit like a very posh fish finger sandwich. Choice of sauces to go on it. I chose the mayo, and the fish inside was cod, which is how it's supposed to be, apparently. So that was, and it was also a lot more filling than it actually looked. So that was a solid sandwich for lunch, that for sure. Absolutely delicious. So I'm going to carry on now back towards the other part of the old town that I was in earlier on, before I conclude this little walk around beautiful Bremen. Herb and spice shop just here, and it's absolutely incredible smell coming out of it. Absolutely fabulous. Sweet shop as well. Well, traditional sweets, let's say, not Haribo's. Right, so I've gone in a full circle really, back in the market square. And what a lovely market square it is as well. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. I'll be doing some more during the rest of my short stay here in Bremen. Probably something along the lines of a random public transport journey. So if you're interested in that, click subscribe and like and the little yellow bell thing, and it'll let you know when they come out. And I'll probably take a little trip out of Bremen as well, if time permits, before I head back to sunny old UK. So thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Bremen is certainly worthy of anyone's time for a day or two, with some beautiful buildings, some fantastic food, and it's got the river, it's got the trams, it's got a great vibe to go with it. So thanks again. See you all soon. Cheers now. Bye.